Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome to this year's meeting of Essex Business Forum, I think it is. Look, it's light outside and we're starting the meeting. Brilliant. Spring is on its way. It's on its way. It's a good turnout. Thank you all for being here. Let's get the meeting underway with good news. Chris here has made an application to join.
Yeah.
The induction process is to follow, and we're not going to tell them what that is.
Wear tight underwear.
Got the other camera ready.
Right, okay, let's move it on. First of all, as always, I'm assisted by the leadership team in taking you through the meeting. Leadership team, please be upstanding and introduce yourselves.
Good morning, I'm Brian, Social Secretary.
Good morning, Scott, your meeting secretary and the handsome face of live chat.
Good morning, guys. Ben, Education Coordinator.
And good morning, everybody. I'm Karen. I deal with membership and recruitment.
Thank you all. Please be seated. As usual, the first up in the meeting is the performance lead. So over to Scott.
Right, yeah. Well, what a rarity is today. Not only is it the 29th of February as a leap year day, but because of that, and because it falls on a Thursday, for the first time I think ever, we have February being a 5-week month.
Wow.
So, February is normally the month where people score lower points because there are fewer days. But we've got 5 goes today, so today is the last one of the month to record your numbers. I'm very pleased to say that practically everybody has smashed the 88 points a month benchmark that we strive for you to get. Positions at the top, 268 points. Normally a comfortable win, but that's only 3rd place for Stuart. 314 points. 2nd place is Toby. 336 points. We all know who it is.
To me.
Even goes on
Surprise.
We know you're still in the league, you weren't here last week. So there we go. Congratulations, well done for those. That's what the films looks like.
Thanks, Scott. Well done, Matt. Right. The education slot. Please, Ben.
Thank you very much. Well, today we're going to get straight onto it. I'm going to hand over to the one and only Mr. Nick Cook.
Thank you, Ben. Well, I got a call during the week from an elderly client. After exchanging pleasantries, he said to me, "That's the first time I've seen that invoice." And I said, "Well, I'd emailed it to you in October last year, along with the report." He said, "I haven't seen that either." The background here is I carried out an inspection for him. He'd not long been in the house, and there was a problem with the garage. There was a crack in it. He wasn't sure what to do, whether he should put an insurance claim in or just repair it. So he found me on Google, went along, looked at the crack. Anyway, it doesn't matter about the background too much, but I did a report for him. Sent him my invoice. He gave me his email address for that very purpose. Anyway, so I got no response from him, no payment either. So I sent him another email, as you do, chasing up the client. The other thing is I didn't have his phone number, which was a big mistake on my part. Sometimes, things like that just get missed. It was at that point I realised I'd placed too much reliance on communications by emails, let alone being paid by bank transfer. So all I could do was write him a letter. It's a rare event to write someone a letter these days, so I found a letter heading, dusted it off, put it in the envelope, stuck a stamp on it, posted it, and he called me. And his call was a result of that letter. So the point of this very brief education slot is that you should agree with the client as soon as you can. The preferred means of communication. Anyway, he was very good about it. He was very cheery. He said, "Look, I'll just pop a check." in an envelope, I dropped it into my door. I said, okay. Secretly to myself, I thought, oh, geez, a check. But it's the best he could do, and that's how he paid his people who did work for him. And I said, thanks very much, that'd be great. And I'll tell you what I'll do, I'll rattle off a hard copy of the report and I'll post that in an envelope to you, so you get it. And he said, great, that's super. So I've had many elderly clients over the years, all of whom have been perfectly happy with emails, but very up to speed with that sort of thing. I mean, now and again, you'll get someone who was, and I should have spotted that when I met him. Nice fellow anyway. We didn't do emails, that's it. End of Ed slot, thank you.
Yeah, I'm trying to work out the moral of that story. I'll think about it. Right. I'll probably mention it in the blog. Right. Terry, do we have any membership matters that we're reporting to the meeting? Yes!
We have about 7 renewals in progress. He's kind of dealing with them, but he's kind of not here. He's on facility. And he's been, yeah. Anyway, we've got, so they're all in the pipeline. I'm dealing with them and more news next week.
Sorry? Right. Stunned by that information. I'm going to stand up and tell you all about the 62nd round, which is now about to start. Before I do, I'm going to send that round, stick your pieces of paper in there. I'm also going to send around the business card box, make sure you're adequately represented, and take cards to enable you to make referrals. Right. Vince isn't here, but he would say the business card is a wonderful thing. So there you go. Right. The winner of the Oscar last week was Toby. He is proudly presenting it at the front of his desk. He will listen carefully. And at the end of the round, he will deliver his verdict on who has won the Oscar. We don't have here a bellman because Vince isn't here. Would anybody like to act as bell person? Right, I will.
Oh, that one, don't it? Was it 50 seconds and 60 seconds?
Yeah.
It's not as it works.
Oh, no.
Right, Paul, thank you very much. Right, I think that's about all I need to do to get the round going. Order of play then, we'll start with Toby, but if I had the bell, I'd ring it and say, keep quiet whilst I get the round going. Thank you. Right, so, Toby will be first, Brian will be second, and we'll carry on from there.
Good morning everybody, Toby Acton, as you know. So as of this week I have been offered and accepted an employed position with NatWest Bank. But do not fret, my fellow EBFers, I will not be leaving you. I blame Sarah Steele, who some of you may remember, used to be a member here. Her company, Better With Money, was bought by Cushion, who was subsequently bought by NatWest Bank. And we now have this silly situation. I do work with Sarah a few times a year, and I think it's all to do with IR35, which I don't fully understand, don't care. I now have to be an employee in order to do any work with them. I'm an employee of an umbrella company, which NatWest now have to pay the umbrella company nearly 40% more than my usual day rate, so that I can get my usual day rate. Totally crazy situation, and I now have all the benefits of being employed. Holiday pay, all of that, they have to pay more, I still get roughly the same amount. Completely ludicrous, so after 25 years, I am now an employee again.
Thank you. Right, Brian, you're next, and you're followed by Chris.
Yeah.
Morning everybody, Brian, Pilgrim Kick Therapy. Jonathan sat in my office and he said, I was driving on the motorway, cruising along, looked at the speedometer and it showed 70. So I immediately came out to the cold sweat, and my heart started pounding, went over to the hard shoulder. I stayed there for about 10 minutes, calmed down, got back in the car, and I was doing about 50, I saw a needle creeping up and I began to get the cold sweat again. Anyway, top and bottom of the was regression revealed. He was 14, he's with his father in the car, the family car, and he's got a high speed, he had an accident on the motorway, the car was arrived on happily, apart from a few scratches and bruises, the family were okay. So subconscious got a very powerful message, if you speed on the motorway, it's dangerous. That's about a month ago when he came to see me. He's fine now and he's back to being a good boy racer. Thank you. That's Brian. Hypnotherapy, help assist help holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, our own boy racer.
You might get 90 seconds.
Sit down. Right. Chris, you're next and you're followed by Skinner.
Hi, good morning. Chris, Travelosophers. This week has been really busy. Another nightmare story of something that I know just paid out an absolute fortune to go on holiday. Misrepresented, didn't have a great time at all, came back, and was only found out that I'm actually doing this now. But you pay really good money to go away, to go for any sort of trip, whether it's a city break, a UK break, it could be further overseas. You want to make sure that you get value for money. Really quickly, one new thing, cruises, I don't know who's been on a cruise and who hasn't, but Royal Caribbean just launched Icon of the Seas, over 5,610 passengers, 7 halls, 20 restaurants. It is like a city on the sea. So if you get a chance, have a look at the size of this thing. You won't believe it, it's absolutely brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chris. Mike, you're next and you're followed by Ben.
Good morning, Mike from Brentwood Media. So this week I'm looking for gyms, PTs, spas, health clubs, studios, all that type of thing. They'll benefit massively from good quality visuals and media on their social medias, websites, things like that, just to make them stand out from the crowd and all the competition. So I can offer introduction, induction and training videos, as well as showing off equipment and the facilities, all in their best light, and also testimonials from happy customers and results from what they've achieved from being there. So yeah, I'm looking for contacts for anyone in the health and fitness industry, whether it's Spit and Sawdust gyms to sort of spas in Hawaii, preferably more of the latter if you can. Not so much cruise ships for me though, because not my thing. That's Mike at Brentwood Media. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Ben, you're next and you're followed by Matt.
Good morning, guys. Ben Golding from Utility Warehouse. So, who is your friends and family current energy supplier? If it's not UW, then seriously you need to drop me a message. Because Ofgem have now announced that the price cap is lowering to the cheapest in the last 2 years. Woo! And from April, the average household, the cap is 1,690. However, we've got the cheapest fixed deal in the UK at over £150 below that. How? Why? I hear you cry. Well, the good news is we can do this because we are the UK's only multi-service provider, so we pass savings on to you. And that tariff's now live, so you can get savings straight away. And save even more with our unique cashback card, just like I did this month, with £142 cashback coming off next month's bill. So, this week I'm looking for people you know that want to save money with the UK's cheapest, most trusted, and most recommended company, and get the shops to pay their bill for them. Ben Golding, Utility Warehouse.
Thank you, Ben. Matt, you're next and you're followed by Tina.
Hi, good morning everyone. Matt Barry from Blue Seraph. We are a branding and creative design service and packaged with content creation and strategy workshops. So if you are coming up to your next financial year and you're thinking, you know what, our brand needs a little bit of a refresh, we need to think about how we can better attract to our customers, to our target market, I'm offering a free brainstorming workshop. So you can come to our offices, you can have some biscuits, you can pat a dog, and we can brainstorm and think about, you know, your brand, your positioning within the marketplace, how can you cut above those ever-increasing competitors to make sure that your brand and your presence and your services are getting the most out of what they should be. So that is Matt Barry from Blue Seraph.
Thank you, Matt.
It's more that you've actually currently run out of biscuits yesterday.
Well,
Please tell me you're out of biscuits in a minute.
Not to come. Just be
That's not good.
Pat the dog twice instead of once.
Get the dog in.
Right, okay.
or eat the dog's biscuits.
Right. With that vision in my mind, we'll move on to Tina. Tina is to be followed by Nick.
Good morning everybody, my name's Tina, my company's called Liberty Executive Services. I offer a secretarial and admin service. I'm based in Essex but cover locally and nationwide, supporting you either in your office or virtually. So if you know anybody that needs an extra pair of hands, pass on my details and I'll be happy to help.
Thank you very much, Tina. Yeah, Tina is next. He has just gone. Nick is going to follow her, and Nick will be followed by Clara.
I was finishing that for. Tina should carry on, I think.
Yeah, I'll try and do it. I've got the timing completely wrong. Okay, my name's Nick. I'm a structural engineer, supposed to be there, apart from the new fella down there who I have met yet. We'll have a chat after. During the week, I carried out a survey for a gentleman. He's selling his house. He had a buyer. The valuation surveyor acting for the mortgage company found a problem about some crack damage in the house. And he said in his report that the owner of the house needed to have he needed a structural engineer on board to take a look at the crack, to advise him on how bad it was, the cause of it, what to do about it. So he found me on the Essex Business Forum website. I've duly carried out the survey. Indeed, there were cracks there, but they weren't serious cracks. They weren't cracks that I would call structural cracks. Already? Anyway, I reassured him that it wasn't a problem, and he was so pleased with my report. It turned out not to be a problem at all. How do you do it, Brian? Just keep talking. That's what I do most of the time, I give reassurance. My name's Nick, I'm a structural
Thank you very much, Nick. Not a steel beam inside. If I had a bell, but never mind, it's, yeah, I wonder if he's taking his bell to Brazil. But anyway, yes, Nick's gone, Clara's next, Leanne follows.
I'm Clara Downton from Downton Mortgages and Financial Services. As I mentioned last week, rates are continuing to tweak up a little bit, not the news I like to be delivering. And so if you know anyone who's coming up in the next 6 months, it's probably worth them sort of looking at things at this point. We will always revisit if things improve in between, so it's a kind of lock-in on the kind of where we are, and then if things improve, you can benefit, and if not, then at least you know where you are. The other thing I just wanted to make sure I mentioned is the equity release side. There are still some pretty competitive rates out there on equity release, so if you know anyone who is over 55 and potentially would look to benefit from getting some funds out of their property, then it's always good to kind of have that conversation and see how I can help. So just a reminder that I do equity release as well. So that's Clara Downton, Downton Mortgages and Financial Services.
Thank you, Clara. It's sad to think that you are preaching to most of the people who are over 55. It's only going to get worse every year. Leanne, you're next, and you're followed by Paul the Bell.
Good morning everyone, Leanne from Brooklyn Interiors, and I mentioned last week about my design consultation, my 90 minutes in people's home to give them a fresh pair of eyes. People do find this useful, and you don't have to take it any further. You can just leave it at that if I give you enough information, or I can give you a quote for something else. So if you do know anyone that's got an uninspiring living room, lounge, bedroom, bathroom, any room, office, put them in touch with me, and I will help them out. It will be functional and stylish. That's Leanne from Brooklyn Interiors. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Paul, you're next, followed by Stuart.
Yes, please.
Hello, I'm Paul from Solitaire. I was hoping to bring someone along with us today. He does our aircon side of the company. So I just thought I'd make a cheeky little, we couldn't make it because of family commitments, but I thought I'd make a cheeky little comment that we offer air conditioning installs and maintenances. We do all plumbing and heating from a dripping tap to a full heating install to the most complicated boiler repair. We are approved installers of Worcester Bosch and many other boiler manufacturers. Can offer up to 12-year guarantee. We can work on air source heat pumps and ground source heat pumps. We service, maintain and repair them. We can work with landlords, we can liaise directly with the tenants. We do gas landlord checks, everything really. We do bathrooms, kitchens, carpentry, general building, and at the moment we've got 10% discount on all our work. So we're big enough to trust and small enough to care.
Thank you very much. All right, Ryan doesn't recognise the bell. Right, Stuart, you're followed by Terry.
Good morning, Stuart from Milky Networks. We look after business telecommunications, and I'm looking for businesses across Essex that are fed up with the huge providers. We're fed up with British Telecom, we're fed up with Virgin, we're fed up with those big providers. We want to come to a smaller business and they can offer all exactly the same services but with a bit more level of personal service. We provide business internet services, voice over IP telephony, the telephone system. You can either run on a traditional style desk telephone if you prefer, or you can run it off an app on your mobile, and being internet based, you can run it from anywhere. What you will need to run it is a good internet service, so we can provide that for you as well. We also do business mobiles, so if you've got a business mobile account you'd like to have a look at, that's something we'd like to get involved with as well. But please, any businesses across Essex that are fed up with the big boys, please put in touch with me, Stuart at LG Networks. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Terry, you're followed by Dave.
Thanks very much, Aidan. Good morning again, everybody. Terry Moynihan from TM Law Solicitors. I saw a client this week, a lady, a really nice lady, and she was being made redundant, which is unfortunate. She wasn't overly pleased about it, and so I explored it, and she said, well, I'm working here in the UK, but my company are relocating my job to Dubai. And I said, why didn't you want to go to Dubai? She said, well, they never offered me the option. What they did was, they just told me my job was redundant. She, working as a PA, knew that they'd employed somebody in Dubai already before they'd made her redundant at twice her salary. So I told her that the settlement agreement she was had in front of her wasn't enough, and she asked me if I'd speak to her employer. I spoke to her employer and told them a few home truths, starting with, you're going to lose this case in the tribunal, and they weren't very pleased about that. I told them how the sums were going to be calculated and what it was going to cost them. I left them to speak to the man who holds the purse strings and come back to my client with a better figure. That's what I do. That's Terry Moynihan at TM Law.
Thank you, Terry. Dave, you're followed by Scott.
Morning everybody, I'm Dave from Brentwood Electrical. We're NRC, BRC approved trains are based in Brentwood. Just to give you an insight of the type of stuff we can offer for domestic clients. We do extra lights, extra sockets, upgrades of your light switches and sockets, the white ones changed to chrome. We do rewires, it can be sort of for an existing house or a new installation. So if anybody knows any builders, I'd be interested to speak to some builders. We do new fuse boards, so all these new fuse boards come with surge protection. So they will cover your, if it's a surge comes down the line, it will stay for computers blowing up and stuff like that. We do garden lights and garden power, do EV chargers, and we also do testing, so that will be testing for landlords, home buyers, and also commercial testing as well. So anything electrical, please give me a call. I'm Dave from Brentwood Electrical.
Thank you very much, Dave. Scott, you're followed by...
Good morning, Dr. Scott, doing anything internet. And we're really busy at the moment working on lots of lovely projects, small and large. But I thought I'd talk to you about some of the ways that we help clients. I had a call yesterday from a client saying that the business is a bit quiet, really want to make sure that we're maximising everything and getting more inquiries through the door. Can you do, and he listed off a few things, improvements and additions to go onto his website, which I considered. I said, hold on a minute, hang on. Business is quiet, but if we spend all this money on your website, that's going to cost you money. What we need to check first is, are there people getting there? If there's no traffic, then doing that work isn't going to work. So I shut myself out of a load of work. And actually the problem we've got to look for is driving traffic, not converting traffic. So we can do all those things, advice, strategy, as well as the actual doing of the website piece. anything internet. It's cool, even at my own cost, I will tell you the right way to do stuff.
Thanks, Scott. Howard, you're followed by James.
Morning all.
Morning.
Let's try that again. Morning all. I had a conversation with a gentleman 2 days ago who was coming to see me this morning, and he was just like fishing for fishing for information. I knew he didn't want to become a client, he was just trying to get some free info from me. But it's a really good example of where ignorance is a dangerous thing. And he was asking about investing in the US stock market. And so I gave the information he wanted. And he asked me what I did, and I explained the process we go through when we take on new clients. And in that conversation, he said, well, yeah, I'll be quite cautious. This is my pension, I don't want to take any risks. And I explained, well, investing in the US stock market would be deemed quite high risk. It's quite volatile. It might perform well. Performance isn't the same as risk. So that quite intrigued. He was coming to see me, and I'm pretty sure he will become a client. Because he's kind of bought into that idea of the value that we can offer clients. So if you come across people who think they sound like they know what they're doing, there's a pretty good chance they don't know what they're doing, and the conversation with someone like me might be really quite helpful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Howard. James, you're next, and you're followed by James.
Hello, James from Brown Insurance. You may have seen the subliminal messaging that's been going on around the building. Today, although we do general insurance, I want hairdressers, barbers, not because I want to insure them. I want to bring retribution and vengeance down upon them. So I've only got this done yesterday. A little bit off the top in English isn't a little bit off the top in Turkish. So this is the result. So hairdressers, addresses, things like that. That's what I want. Thank you very much.
That's so you can sell them crap insurance. Right, thank you very much indeed, James. Jane, you're followed by me, and I will be followed by Paul.
Hello everybody, Jane Mannion from the English Cream Tea Company. We deliver treats all over the country, but I'm also a bit of an expert on etiquette, and I give talks on that. Now these days, a little pouch like this would be for carrying around your mobile phone, but back in the 1600s and 1700s, it was not. And if you were invited to the castle for a feast, you would arrive with your own dagger for eating purposes. And you would also arrive with one other implement, a spoon, for the wet ingredients. Until Louis XVI in France went, hang on, why am I inviting all these people in with daggers to sit around me? This is a bad idea. And so he banned sharp knives, they had to be blunt, and also he started providing them. And as people got more affluent, the middle classes appeared, now we're 1900s, so it became the norm for people to provide the cutlery. But lastly, a guess, which nation invented the fork?
Tibet.
Italy! Because the fashion at the time was big ruffles, and it got in the way of their spaghetti eating, and they invented the fork. Yes, any old, they're on the spoon, but they were getting around.
How did they manage with the fusilli?
With the few.
Right.
That's a silly question.
That's a silly question. Yeah. Adrian Squire from TM Law. Terry and I do different things in the legal world. I set them up and he knocks them down. But we do work together as well. This week, the shareholders of a company were in dispute. He effectively knocked heads together and negotiated the basis of a settlement. I drafted the shareholders' agreement, and he is now wrapping it up. So, when you come to TM Law, you get an awesome package. On a practical note, when you want to give me a reference, make it a TM Law reference, not a quality HR. So that's Aidan at tm-law.co.uk. Terry, that's Aidan Squire from TM Law, and Paul Booth is now to follow.
Morning, Paul Booth from Booth & Co, Chartered Certified Accountants based in Brentwood. Companies House are increasing their charges from the 1st of May. So examples are an annual confirmation statement increased from £13 to £34. Big increase. Formation costs for use Companies House have gone up to £50 for electronic formation. Voluntary winding up costs are also going up. So what we're doing, we've got a few clients that have got dormant companies they're never going to use. we're going to get them or suggest to them that they strike the company off, but also do it before the 1st of May. We may also get clients whose confirmation statements are due in May, June, July. We'll do it early. We can do an early one, and that will save them 20 quid. It's Paul Booth from Booth & Co, minimize tax.
Thank you, Paul. Right, that is the end of the 60-second round. Toby, let's get your
Decisions. Such quality today. Ben, just too much energy, sorry. Quick cover that this time. Matt, yeah, biscuits and dogs, two of my favourite things, but not the dog biscuits. Jane, Paul, that was interesting. Yeah. So, I just because he's right next to me and I thought it was interesting, it's not going to Terry. I actually really liked Howard's. Ignorance is dangerous. I think that applies to a lot of our the services. Not that we're ignorant or dangerous, but I know what I mean. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you very much, Toby. Well done, Howard. That brings us then fully to the end of the second round. Let's move on from there. Moving on from there means the meeting secretary's report. Scott.
Nothing to say today. Simple as that.
Board best to know not to say something. Thank you so much. The 10-minute presentation is now upon us. Ben.
Cool. So before I introduce today's surprise speaker, the upcoming speakers for March. So next week on the 7th, Neil will be providing the 10 minutes. I have the end confirmed as well, and I'll do the education slot. 14th will be Mel and Jane will be doing the education. On the 21st, Aidan will be doing the 10 minutes and bits will be providing the ed slot. And 28th, Blake will be doing his second 10 minutes, and I'll be doing the education slot that day. When it's your turn to do your 10 minutes, please download the bio sheets and get it to me a day or two beforehand. Don't worry, Chris, I'll show you exactly where all this is, so it'll make 100% sense to you there. If you can't do your 10 minutes or your ed slot, please let me know as soon as possible. I'll do my best to try and swap things around. Try and remember that there's 8 minutes for your presentation and 2 minutes for questions, and always bring a speaker's prize. I was going to say door prize then, but I get told off my bride. Bring a speaker's prize as well. So that said, today's speaker has technology because we have a first. James Humphreys is giving us his first 10 minutes from Brown & Brown Insurance, obviously an insurance broker, and the area covered is worldwide, kind of. So, favourite holiday location and why is Sharm El Sheikh. Loves the ocean because it's like swimming in an aquarium. And despite not wearing his smallest speedos, he does still get funny looks when he goes into Pets at Home and tries to do it there. Famous person he has met, Little Mix. Got up close and personal on the X Factor tour. However, they obviously remembered him a few weeks later when the curvier one opened a door on a motorway service station. Now, as a happily married man, he chose not to take the relationship any further. So, a satisfying achievement, learning how to pilot a Boeing 747. However, only on the ground, which does limit the destinations that he can take us to. And finally, a type of music that James likes. So, having won, and I need proof of this, having won an international singing competition, performing an eclectic mix from Wilson Pickett to the Backstreet Boys, it's fair to say that his type is varied. So, would you put your hands together? Please welcome James Humphreys.
It was a karaoke in Ibiza, I should add. Anyway, right, I'm trying to stand somewhere that not get in the way. We'll try again. Well, it's the first time I've spoken standing up without playing my hand for a while, so I'm probably not going to enjoy this. And as with one big happy family, I intend for none of you to enjoy it either, so we'll see how we get on. Anyway, James from Brown Insurance, still trading as RMK, BHK, LDS, all cover, but we are owned by the almighty Brown & Brown over in America. So that's what it is. And I like the colour blue, so I thought we'd go with that. I realise how egotistical it is that my name is so much bigger than the company's name. I'm sat there, but we'll carry on. Anyway, insurance. I'm not going to read this out word for word, but I promise some of you a little bit of history. So in the mid-1600s, ship owners got together to share losses effectively. They knew one of their boats wasn't going to make it back. They didn't know whose boat. So they decided to put some money in a pot, and whoever's boat didn't come back, got the money. Edward Lloyd ran a coffee shop that they all sat in. And he thought, well, I get some extra coin out of this, so I'm going to charge you for the tables and the chairs, whilst I'm charging you for the coffee, to do business that's got nothing to do with it. So, entrepreneur. I don't know whether Nick or Brian have come across him at all. Anyway, Lloyd still has a presence in London, as you all know. Lovely big building. I understand the building has changed significantly. You can get an excellent cup of tea in there. My phone's gone off with my notes, so I do apologise. Go. Right. So on to me. With the help of our very own Mike Skinner, I am the very image of a professional insurance broker. So, thank you, Mike. However, as difficult as it is to imagine, as a kid, insurance wasn't the first choice. Cowboy, spaceman, footballer, insurance broker. No, it didn't happen. So, I had a few other options. Music. Originally, I was going to music star, but for some reason, the brown velvet tracksuit didn't catch on, so I had to move on. As you can see, I went for fashion icon. For some reason, that's a swing and a miss as well. So moved on to sport, and despite everyone knows I love my sport, an impressive haul of local trophies, and the offer to go to the Crystal Palace Academy at 13, it was too far away. So my parents working 6 days a week, no chance. So stuck locally, enjoyed my football. So I had to fall back on insurance. Education. As you can see from this photo, the way I chose all of my options was how many girls were going to be in that class. At the age of 14, I thought that's brilliant. I'll land on my way through secondary school. Those of you that are Facebook friends with me, will see that's my wife. So that didn't last very long. At the tender age of 15, she snapped me up. Didn't really know what I was going to do. Went to college, done a business studies, so covered everything. And in my national record achievement, the only comment I can remember is, I want to go into financial services, but definitely not insurance. Had work experience, it's stayed, it's boring, and everyone in there is dull. So how did I get into insurance? I remember this bit. Left college and applied for 3 different jobs. I had no intention of being in it for very long, so I didn't take it very seriously. The first one was an accountant in Chelmsford. Went along, first interview, invited me back for a second interview. The second one was Malden, and it was a shipping company, just a junior clerk. It was raining that day quite heavily, so my mum wouldn't let me drive to Malden because the roads were a little bit dodgy. The third one was Brentwood, insurance brokers. Went there and sat there waiting for a ridiculous amount of time. They moved me through the interview room, waiting for a ridiculous amount of time, and then some fella walked in, grey hair, grey face, grey suit, grey tie, grey shirt, grey shoes, grey personality. And I thought, not for me. He hustled down, sat down and said, I'm really sorry mate, really sorry I've kept you. I've driven from Newcastle overnight. My family are all Newcastle fans. My wife's family are all Newcastle fans. We've been visiting them and I'm really late. That's why I'm really sorry. Let's get this going. And me being 18 and a little bit stupid, so have you got your black and white pants on still? And he looked at me like half of you look at me now. What on earth are you going to a job interview and talking about my underwear for? I said, I'm really sorry, big football fan, been to Newcastle a few times, it's not a religion, it's not a culture, it's everything rolled into one. He just started chortling and then laughing uncomfortably loudly, and he said, you're right, they are mental. Every single one of them is black and white all over the city. So he said, it's a really easy job, you can do it. If you can read and write, you can do it. But I've got 6 people sat out there that I've got to interview, so when you walk out, can you pretend this didn't go brilliant? So I went back through the office. Anyway, got back, the accountant phoned and said, we want to bring you in for a second interview. I said, sorry, I gave you my word, so I'm going to go with this. A word is my honour, I go. The rest of it. They went, well, job I got second interview, we're offering you the job. You were the only person we invited there. I said, sorry, I've given some my word. They went, well, where is it? I said, Brentwood. He went, that's twice as far as you have to come here. How much are they going to give you? This much. Well, we'll give you more. Being 18, being stupid, I went, no, I've given some my word. I'm going to stay there. So anyway, how would you have time, sorry?
5 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay. So anyway, I went into insurance, and I'd like to think I've matured from the young idiot that I once was. However, there's more evidence. We all like a beer. Oktoberfest. This photo, well, this day ended is exactly how you can imagine this photo would lead on to. That's one of us having to carry the largest of our group through the high street because he couldn't walk. Here, nice romantic day out with the wife into London, and I got told off for pointing that out at a volume not appropriate for the situation, apparently. It's no ringing. Lawbreaker in me. There's a sign very clearly displayed saying one person at a time with ball pool. You can see, both of them in there. Another career choice, impersonating the grumpy fish that's attacking us in Charm, apparently has a limited audience, so stay with insurance. This one, sorry I'm rattling through it at the time, had absolutely no recollection of these photos being taken. None at all. I know I've never been to Vegas. So, I genuinely have no idea. That's my darling wife with me again, I hope. And this one is probably the best description of me as an adult. This person here is not me. This person is this man. Morbid fear of heights. Petrified. Can't walk up a set of stairs that's got a glass side. Morbid fear. Instead of recommending to Brian, I bought him a bungee jump for his 40th birthday. It didn't cure his fear, so maybe he should come and see you, Ryan. But I'd rather send him off another preacher, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, 7 minutes. 7 minutes. Okay, perfect. Well, okay, so yeah, I've started with insurance. It's not a bad job. It's 9 to 5-ish. It's warm. It's dry. And the reason I stick with it is because of these people. Obviously, you've got you. Good lady wife has changed over the years. Me has changed over the years. Well, not for better. I can say, I'm being recorded. And so we've got Sam, my youngest, who's 18 now, Cameron, 20, and Maisie, who has come into the family. She's been with Cameron for about 3 years now, and she puts up with Cameron and Sam, so she's obviously going to get keep. And this photo here, again, we're in Sharp, went to see a show, and we got taken through in the bus, front of the queue, security took us through. They put blankets down on the concrete steps for us. We were the only 4 people in the whole place that had this treatment. And these two came up to me as we sat down and said, "Oh, do you mind a photo?" And I'm thinking, "No problem, I can take a photo of these two." So I said, "Yeah, no problem." And he then gave his missus the camera, sat next to me, put his arm around me, and I had about 50 people come up and take a photo with me. I've got no idea who they think I was. But so when we took this photo, I played it down, but people all the way around here are trying to get in our family photo because they think we were some people that we weren't. Story for another time. Anyway, any questions on that? You are welcome, but don't feel obliged.
Not a question, but my dad used to own 3 insurance brokers in Brentwood, which became Brentwood Insurance Brokers.
I was a tester.
Oh, you were a tester?
Yeah.
Right.
I probably drank in the same bars as he with his staff. Yeah. That's what we've done pretty much 3 or 4 hours a day in Brentwood. Was the dumping back in those days. And then drove home. Sorry.
Have the phone run out of initials now? Because notion now Brown picking up on all the initials.
I think it's here today, but he's been banging on about business cards for the last 2.5 years. My role has changed, my company has changed so many times in those 2 years. I could have got kids to retire on, business cards. So.
RMs which are going to get automatic promotion?
No, those stars, Leicester, are going to win the league, followed closely by Leeds. So, but playoffs. If you can choose a place to go up, it would be the playoffs. Sorry, Nick.
A sensible question, if you don't mind.
Is it about everybody?
No, it's about insurance excesses. Is it a fairly standard thing that the policy excess on a subsidence claim has always been £1,000 for years and years? Is it still the same? Or has it gone up to like £5,000?
Depends on the product. I'm seeing excesses up to £10,000 for substance
Really?
areas. In the last 18 months, most insurers have completely remapped the UK for flood and substance. And it's all done on statistics with regards to how many claims they have in a certain area. They're not just going, we don't like that one in South End, we'll stick their rates up. It's all statistics driven. But yeah, £1,500 is usually the minimum now. 2.5 is regular, 5 on occasions, and as I say, I've seen 10 on larger commercial properties rather than residential.
Is that reason that a lot of my clients choose not to make the claim for small structural damage issues?
The beauty of that is they still tell the insurers they've had the work done.
They still do they?
And if they don't, and then something happens subsequently, the insurers can say, you didn't tell us that. They won't all do it like that, but in theory the wording allows them to. Any other non-sensible question?
I've only got a sensible one.
Oh,
The car insurance has been in the news a little bit this week, isn't it, about charging different rates depending on where you live and ethnic backgrounds and all that sort of stuff. But one of the quotes that stuck out to me is that they said the insurance companies don't declare how they actually set their rates, sort of thing. In which case, how are they regulated on it?
I don't do motor insurance myself,
No, I was wondering
but they are regulated every which way you can possibly imagine. They used to be able to give new customers better deals than existing customers. FCA have said no, that's not allowed. So one of the very few industries that actually been cracked down is your broadband and your energy companies and all that kind of stuff. So new clients have always been treated preferentially because you want to get you in the door. And actually, the following year, you can't be asked to move. That's gone up a little bit, but I'll just stay where I am, I'll just stay where I am, I'll stay where I am. But they're not allowed to do that anymore. So if you see that happening, report them.
James, thank you very much indeed. Right, sit down, Nice to get the first one out of the way. Well done. You've given us a background of yourself. We all know where you come from and where you're going. All I want to know is, did anybody know him and get the photograph done when he was in Dubai or wherever it was? Right. It is time for the referrals to testimonials round. As usual, we start with Paul. Let's work down.
Yeah, well done, James. Excellent. I don't know if you were nervous, but it didn't come across as nervous. It's very good. Thank you. And,
didn't know show.
Welcome to Chris as well, and thank you for making the application. Thank you very much to Dave, of course. Well, James, that was great. I used to get my picture taken by people when I went backpacking when I was traveling food back in the day. Japanese people in Australia and New Zealand all want their picture taken. Really creepy. That's for Aidan. New wheels for someone. And that's for Terry, who helped recoup an unpaid invoice. Oh. And disappointingly, they paid really quickly.
No thumb screws.
Yeah. Then Trout.
Just don't have any appetite for a good old fight. And Chris, welcome. Good to see you enjoying the group. Thanks to Dave, who's done a few bits of work for us lately at my base, at Terry's place, at customer places, and yeah, that's some really good work after Dave, so I want to thank you and your team for that. For Matt, for our meeting coming to see on Monday, a little refresh of our marketing. Thank you.
Thank you to Stuart. To work out well. And I've got one for John Hammond, who's not here, but he knows about it. He's booked it next week, and we're very good tenants. On the strength of your expertise, I recommend you to a client. I was having some building work done. I don't think it came to anything, unfortunately. Your name's out there.
But she's protected here.
Yeah. So, you get to keep that one.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
I have another referral for Terry. This is a friend of mine who wants some legal advice on recovering some serious money for a swimming pool he partially completed that he get paid for. I said, you're the man.
I'm ready.
And I've got a referral for John Freeman, who I spoke to, who I recommended to a friend of the family to do some work. He's not here, but he knows about it. Thank you.
Excellent, Tim. You ever thought about comedy?
Insurance comedy, the hand out.
I think there's a big market there, right? Welcome, Chris. Forward to learning more about you and your business. I'll start with that one. A referral to...
The white ones.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure we'll have to say that anymore, is that the right colour?
Week on, I forgot what I'm doing. Referral to Mike. Firstly, actually, a testimonial. So Mike and I were doing a shoot with a military-grade CCTV camera on Monday. The things he did, and Mike was brilliant. Honestly, he's just really knows what he's on about. Takes his time to set things up right at the beginning, so that everything is, the actual shoot went really, really quickly. It was, it wasn't easy and tricky, and we were all looking for props to mask up in green tape and all sorts of stuff. But it looks really, really cool. So great job. So thank you, Mike. But yeah, that referral was actually internal for us. We want whole new shots and videos done. One-to-one. Well, I had a one-to-one with Scott, and I'll do that tonight. But there's also Toby. We had a nice burger the other day, didn't we? So you can give that.
Well, there's two names on it, so obviously if you've written the same thing on that one, I was...
All right, we do that one. Thank you. And thank you to the money for Scott for Europoo. He's paid. Not that I wasn't, but he's like a changed man, that guy. He even liked a post of mine on Instagram. I was like, oh, blimey. Right, anyway, that's enough of me.
Yeah, thanks everybody for staying awake to start with, so I appreciate that. Not something I particularly enjoyed doing, but can I get that? Right, it's a referral, but I'm not going to put this one in because it's hotel I stayed in a couple of weeks ago. They're doing a load of work on the grounds. So the second they finish those, they're going to want to advertise the fact they've done it. So it might just give them a call. Lovely, lovely people, we're all with. Right, okay, thank you, Money, for Howard. John's been looking after you, I understand.
Yes, thank you.
And Terry, you had the Premier service because I looked after you. And then just a message about Chris. He's looked at a hotel for me, given me loads of options, presented it on a little video. So it's really, really good. So I don't know whether the testimony or anything like that. Confirmation because it was fantastic. Yeah, that's all for me.
Thank you, James, for that. I love that. Brilliant. I think your hair looks really nice as well.
See, now I know the second alive. What's the first alive?
That's good, Matt. Thank you, Matt, for that. And Toby Acton as well. I spoke to him about the daughter.
Oh, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, James, for a very entertaining presentation. Thank you. Thank you. Money to Matt. Meeting. See you next week.
So I'm very new to this, but this is for Paul, and you made me laugh this morning. It was worth waking up for. Thank you very much.
One Paul. Two Paul.
Really good presentation, thank you. Thoroughly enjoyed that. I don't know what all the fuss was about. That was great. I've worked in insurance, get it. But yeah, very, very good.
I could have done anything on that.
Matt's, one of my developers referred me. He was really pleased to give me a job, which I said, that's not really me. Just pushed it straight over for Matt to work with. A company that needs a brand and a bit of a refresh. So thank you on that. While I'm on my feet, Matt thanked Mike for military grade work. He did military grade work with the Hammonds, as we played airsoft on Sunday. He came over and captured us doing our stuff. It was brilliant. Mike also shot me in the face.
It was really, really good fun.
I think it's rather worrying that being shot in the face is described as fun. But there you go. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you all for turnout.
Oh, so brilliant. But I'd love to know who they thought you were.
Outside the North Wales Switch Hand.
Oh, you didn't see that?
Next week, John.
He's 10 years older than me and so it's a massive head injury, so it's not a compliment you think it might be.
But no, brilliant. Well done. Yes, very intense. All that fuss that you never wanted to do for. Very good. Well, Chris, yeah, good to meet you. We'll get one-to-one in and we'll run through like we'll get you in 10 minutes and everything that you need with that as well. Yeah. Thank you, Nick, for starting us off very nicely as well. And Dave, yeah, I've sent you an email, but I need to I'll send a photo on WhatsApp there as well. And then had one-to-ones with Tina and Neil, but Neil's not here, so
you get the whole one.
So you get the whole one, and a referral there for Aidan. Do that, already know that with friend Aisha. You've already spoken to her as well. Bad. See you next week.
That should have been you doing that.
We can arrange it for you.
I want to do that site. That's what we should do. Yes. They've got it over in Dartford.
Oh, the exit one?
Yeah.
Okay. Friends got this. One's down in every Japan. I'm sure it comes.
Welcome, Chris. Ben. Nice to see you all next week.
First of all, I thought that was brilliant. Really enjoyed it. Well, I look forward to the next one. I did loads of socialising this week actually, so yeah, lots to pass out. Thank you for the money to Howard for the shoot last week and your lovely team for looking after us.
You're great.
Thank you, Jules. One-to-ones. I went dancing with Clara this week.
Yeah. I didn't realise that was the option.
And then I went shooting with Scott, Blake and John, so that's got to be ripped into three. The two extreme ends of it. And thank you for the money for Blake for the photo shoot for his video. Obviously, I forgot to say to Matt, that was a really interesting, different shoot as well, so thanks for looking at that, really good. Yeah, exactly. No more pursuits, so we avoided that, didn't we?
Yeah, well done, Dave. That's excellent. Now I said I'll sue anyone for anything, it includes Turkish barbers, so brilliant. No, it's really good. Well done. I don't know what the fuss is about. It's really good. You're natural with friends and it's good. So look forward to hearing more next time. We'll be more about the business next time, you know. But thank you for ex-member Kim, just the gift that keeps on giving. Ex-members worth keeping in touch with, right? And then just some testimonials, really. One for James, for yourself. Thank you very much for organising that. Flat insurance was did it himself. Personal touch was great. A few little glitches, but you just took in the right direction, sorted me out. Same for Mike. Thanks for doing the bits, Mike, for me, a little bit. And Scott, V-form. If you haven't taken up Scott's offer doing the V-form, it's like, I can't believe how good it was. So like, I gave him the form, I normally post out to clients or email, and it's a bit short, it's a bit slapdash and old hat. Scott's turned it into something to work right, it's great, and it works brilliantly. Thanks very much for that, much brilliant. Give back to any one of the three of them.
Oh, right, okay, well,
yeah, great meeting, great 10 minutes, really enjoyed it. Very funny, as Matt said. It's good to get to know you. Chris, welcome, assuming it's all yes. Great Ed slot. Nick, Scott, are you able to tell me how many people land on my homepage for want of a better term? Okay, I'll speak to you about that. And I've got a referral for Terry for debt recovery. Hopefully they'll get back to you. There's something else here. Oh yes, yeah, lottery syndicate. I've just got an email through. We won £3.
Yay!
17 ways, £3.
it's not Nick, and welcome Chris. I've got a referral for you. I've met up with an interior designer the other day, she needs some insurance, so I told her to contact you. I'm not going to do more details. See you all next week.
So yes, anyone else who fancies coming dancing, you are very welcome. I do a very informative one-to-one with people whilst on the dance floor. So yes, thank you to Mike for being allowed to be dragged along. He's 3 weeks in now, so hopefully continuing. On that note, I may be a little more absent in March because I have entered the Modern Jive Championships later on this March, and so there is a newcomer category which he would probably be up for, but yeah, now I've found somebody to partner with me, so I may not be here very much in March while I try and get prepped for all of that. So please forgive me if I'm a little more absent, but hopefully it'll be worth it. And a one-to-one with Jenny, thank you very much. Always lovely to see you. And yeah, thank you everyone. Howard will grab our one-to-one, and yeah, nice to see everyone.
Shall I move like this is for Clara?
Yes,
Just to mention, we did our one-to-one after the meeting and chatted for half an hour intensely here, and they were very kindly let you do that. And it's a really good way of doing a one-to-one straight after the meeting, racking up some extra points, but learning more about each other, which is why I really enjoyed your talk today. See, gave your word, stuck to your word, even at the age of 18. That tells me a lot about you. So I was interested in the real James as opposed to more about the insurance company. I thought that was great. And also, Chris, welcome. It's really nice to see you here again. And as I mentioned, I think we're quite a holiday-hungry group. So I'm sure you'll be back busy. Thank you, everybody.
Right. I think that's a winner for today's collection.
Say when, that's all, isn't it?
Oh, who's it from?
Oh, Leanne. It's me.
Oh,
Yeah, congratulations.
I'm sharing it.
Right. James, thank you very much for your presentation. Thank you very much for doing the running. And that brings effectively the meeting. Look at that.
you come round and watch me.
Thanks, James. Right. We've come to that moment when I will discharge you all, but before you're all discharged, has anybody got any announcements they want to make to the meeting? Nick?
All being well, I'll have a builder pays a visit next week. The problem I'm having is it's difficult finding the right caliber builder who I would be happy with. This guy ticks all the boxes.
Excellent.
And he expresses a great deal of enthusiasm.
Good. Excellent. Yeah, that's what we want. What do you think?
What's his name, Bob?
No, Robert, he's a posh builder. Right. Anybody else? Otherwise, thank you all for coming. Had we had the Hammond twins, who are normally regular attendants, we'd have had 22 and well, 26, so that's very good indeed. There's a rumour that certain Freeman will be here next week.
Yes.
So let's see if we can have a good turnout for next week. Look forward to seeing you all then, and I'll send you on your way.